All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis camp of the Great Millstone. We're here to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'Shem,
Ba'Shem,
Yahweh
Yahweh
Shai,
Shai,
Ba'Shem,
Ba'Shem,
Rakakwadash.
Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on our highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and your so called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom. All
Shalom.
right, this is your brother Ayashar Barzal.
I'm a Wanayash.
All right, just gonna get right into it.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, beginning in verse 1. It says, Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Khan, and this is the prophet Jeremiah speaking to the house of Israel. He said, "Hear ye the word." The word was only given to the nation of Israel, according to Psalms 147, verses 19 and 20. All right, and the Lord has not dealt with any other nation. All right, you want to go ahead and get that?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, beginning in verse 19. It says, He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them.
God, so these words were only given to the nation of Israel. Okay, it's also mentioned in Leviticus 26 and 46. All right, he's only dealing with the nation of Israel, and who are the ones that give this word to the nation of Israel? It's the prophets. Okay, it is the prophets. All right, get that in Amos 3 and 7 for me.
Finish this off real quick.
Okay, it's like,
It says, Praise ye the Lord.
yeah, praise ye the Lord. So we get a Lord praise because that it's given to us and no one else. All right, something we ought to be thankful for. All right, the Amos 3 and 7.
God, this is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. It says, Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he reveals his secrets unto his servants, the prophets.
All right, so he revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Okay, and the word, the prophets are the ones who deliver the words of the Most High, who speak to the people, who speak to the children of Israel. All right, it is done by the prophets. He said his servants, the prophets. All right, and we're going to tell you where those servants come from. Let's go to Isaiah 41 and 8.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 8. It says, But thou, Israel, art my servant.
Thou Israel art my servant. Okay, that's the nation of Israel.
It says, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend.
Khan. Okay, so those prophets are of the seed line of Jacob, whose name was later changed to Israel. Okay, and you'll find that in Genesis 32 as well as Genesis 35. So none of you false prophets from these other nations, talking about the Kenneth Copelands, what's the guy that just died? Pat Robertson, Jesse Duplantis, Joyce Meyer. That's not talking about y'all. You all are not from the nation of Israel. Okay? So that Isaiah 41 and 8 just reaffirms that. All the prophets come from the nation of Israel. No one else. All right?
And even when we go to Romans, the 9th chapter, it speaks upon how the services of the Most High is given unto the Israelites. So pretty much only the Israelites can serve Yahweh Bashmi Yashai. And ultimately the Israelite men at that, because what Yahweh Bashmi Yashai, right, he speaks to the Israelite men, or which the prophets are men, right? He speaks through his prophets unto the house of Israel. Right? Ultimately, that's how it's always been since the beginning of time. Right? Jeremiah the 28th chapter, right? The prophets before me and the prophets of old have prophesied both against great kingdoms, pestilence, war, evil, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So ultimately, before the fall of each great kingdom, Yahweh Bashmi Ashai will send forth his prophets.
Like you said, it's been since the beginning. You'll find that in Luke chapter 1, verses 68 through 70. He's prophesying to the children of Israel. All right, you can go ahead back in Jeremiah.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. It says, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Con, it says, learn not the way of the heathen. And what's the way of the heathen? You know, his ways. Number one, chiefly Esau Edom, he's in rulership right now, and his ways are contrary to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know, we always talk about it in camp. You know, the nation of Israel only has 613 laws, statutes, and commandments to abide by. We forsook those, and that has us under the curses right now. And part of that is dealing since the inception of America. You know, you have 30 plus thousand laws and counting. That's just at the federal level, excluding the state, city, county, you know, and other laws you have to abide by. And then those laws are also inconsistent from state to state. You know, you can conceal carry, or you can carry here in Indianapolis, but go across state lines up to Illinois, you know, you get in trouble for it, for the same thing. So those are the things that, you know, the confusion that Jake has to deal with in Babylon. All right. Then it goes, and here again, these are the ways of Esau Edom. You know, according to 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, he will be in rulership, you know, at the end times. And how do we know at the end times? Well, we know by these signs of heaven. You know, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. We're seeing more and more and more and more chariot sightings. Okay. The U.S. is, boasting that, you know, they've been shooting these things, the chariots of Israel down, you know, the UFOs or the UAPs, and with no evidence, you know. How do you shoot something down like that when they've already, you know, shown on many shows, you know, those things are so fast, you don't know which way they're going to go. It's, you know, when you go in one place, you see them in one spot, at your next destination, they've already met you there, you know. These were the creators of things from the very beginning, okay? And for that reason, just like the scriptures say, for the heathen are dismayed at them. You know, the elites know what's going on, all right? They see all these prophecies coming to pass. As a matter of fact, they're part of it, you know, whether they know it or not, okay? They are part of these prophecies. You know, they see these chariots coming. And it was some documentary where, you know, the Rothschilds said, we know God hates us because he hates Esau Edom, and we hate him too. All right, that's what they said. The Rothschilds hate him too. So as the scriptures tell us, you know, that they telling us, you know, that we're preaching division and hate. You know, the scriptures tell us, you know, we hate those who hate Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know, and even Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai says he hates Esau Edom, which is a righteous anger. You know, they deserve it, everything that they get. So when we talk about the ways of the heathen in particular, you know, you got these two back-to-back holidays. They call them one today, Father's Day, okay, and then you got tomorrow this Emancipation Proclamation, or Juneteenth, as they want to call it, okay. You have those two going on, and then, you know, it's funny, you know, how they put things in front of your face. You have people recite the scripture. Get that honor thy father and mother in Exodus. I want to say 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, and verse 12. It says, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee.
That's the one commandment that comes with the promise, when you honor thy father and thy mother. But here in America, they split them apart. Okay, you honor them all the time, not just one day on different months. And then what they do, they put a Mother's Day in May, and Father's Day in June. Okay, and then you can see the different reactions between the two. People go all out, you know, on Mother's Day. You know, they recommending expensive perfumes, you know, diamonds and so on and so forth. Okay, and you know, throughout history, you know, when that holiday was celebrated for the fathers, and it's still the same thing. What you get, a tie, pair of socks, or some Old Spice, you know, Nobody want that crap. We're not supposed to be celebrating that anyway. But here again, um, when they separate it like that, you have all of our households right now. The majority of them are run by single women. All right, and there was a statistic that just came out not too long ago where it says the success of a child that's run by a single father is the same success as a two-parent home. Okay, but more of your so-called black men that are in jail come from homes run by a single mother. All right, so why is that? All right, because once upon a time, when the child would inquire of something from the mother, her first question to that child was, "Did you ask your father?" Okay. Now, with the father being taken out of the home, that question does not get asked. Okay, so it always went back to the father. Okay, which goes back to explain why in Deuteronomy 4 that it's the responsibility of the father to teach his generations. Okay, the woman learned from the husband who was at home. The father was supposed to teach his sons. But with him taken out of the home, that's that's out of the way, and it causes all types of confusion. That's why you have a lot of our young men today, not only in the prison system, but enjoying and mimicking the ways, if not even the looks, of his mother. Especially in this month. All right, so that's one of those wicked holidays, and like I said, you got the Juneteenth going on tomorrow. But see, here's the thing: why they have Jake distracted by these two back-to-back holidays, nobody's paying attention to all these military mobilizations across the United States and Canada right now, and other places. I'm sure they're going to pop up. Okay, that's what's going on, but that's going to be another video. All right.
I got a hot one.
Go ahead.
Just going into that honor thy father and mother that we brought out in Exodus 20th chapter, because pretty much what the Lord was saying there when he said honor thy father and mother is just being obedient to your parents. And I have Ephesians the 6th chapter beginning at verse 1. It says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." And verse 2 is going to explain that honoring thy father and mother is going hand in hand with being obedient to your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Verse 2 says, "Honor thy father and mother," and this is a continuation from verse 1. So read verse 1 again. It says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And here's the promise in verse 3. It says, "That it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth." So when it comes to honoring thy father and mother, that doesn't mean worship them like you worship Yahweh Bashmi Ashai. Right? Ultimately, you please Yahweh Bashmi Ashai by being obedient unto your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Following the lead of your father, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And following instructions from your father and your mother, because the father comes first and then the mother. Right? So also when you're being obedient unto them, and doing as they say, right, as long as it's righteous with Yahweh Bashmi Ashai, then that's pleasing in the sight of the Lord. Right? So ultimately, you're not gonna find nowhere in scriptures to put your father or your mother over Yahweh Bashmi Ashai. All right? Because what did Yahweh Shai say? "He that loveth father, mother, sister, brother more than me is not worthy of me." All right? So ultimately, these are your parents, your family. You're not supposed to put them over Yahweh Bashmi Ashai. Right? Because at the end of the day, what Yahweh Bashmi Ashai comes first. So when it goes into honoring thy father and mother, that doesn't mean worship them like you worship Yahweh Bashmi Ashai. It just means being obedient unto your parents. Because that's what's pleasing to Yahweh Bashmi Ashai.
And here again, that father being first, like I said in Deuteronomy 4, it is that the father who is charged with teaching those laws, statutes, and commandments to his sons and his sons' sons. Okay? But in the current state of affair right now, the father is not in the home, and that's by design, because the Lord speaks to him, and I'll back that up with Proverbs 8 and 4, and it reads, "Unto you, O men, I call; my voice is to the sons of man." All right. My voice is unto the sons of man. So the Lord has always dealt with the man from the very beginning. All right. As the scriptures tell us, if a woman learn anything, she learned from her husband who is at home. She is supposed to teach the younger women. Okay. All right.
Yeah, the woman, yeah, they don't like the women. They don't go into the breakdown or teach the scriptures like that. They teach the younger woman, how to love their husbands, how to be chaste, take care of the children, so on and so forth. Right, the Lord left the scriptures or the prophecies and all the breakdowns, all right, to the men.
Right. Right. Because he said in what's that in Job 39:17. Let me get that.
Proverb wisdom.
Yep. Let me get that real quick. Job 39:17. And it reads, because Yahweh hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. All right. Neither hath he imparted her to her understanding. So, like we said before, like the scripture said before, his voice is unto the sons of men. Okay. So if he's dealing with the men, give you Proverbs 2:6. And it reads, for Yahweh giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. Okay? So there it is right there. That's who that wisdom and knowledge and understanding was given to. All right? And the men have to execute that. All right? So going back to this wicked holiday, just before we start recording this video, you got Jake outside shooting fireworks. For what?
A day before.
A day before the so-called Juneteenth, which is to celebrate the Emancipation Proclamation. But what Jake don't understand, when you go into the etymology of the word emancipate, it means the transfer of ownership. Okay, transfer of ownership, which is exactly what was happening, because at the same time that was on the table in I think it was 1863. Okay, and was finally approved in June of 1865. Well, the Congress already had the 13th Amendment on the table. Okay, so what the 13th Amendment essentially did was transfer the ownership from private slave ownership to the government. Okay, and that's been proven. And it makes me think about Jeremiah 50 and 33. They refused to let us go. All right, you want to grab that so I don't butcher it? Yeah.
I had a precept after that, Jeremiah.
Okay, Jeremiah 50 and 33.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, chapter 50 and verse 33. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
So it said they refused to let them go. So while that Emancipation Proclamation was on the table, the 13th Amendment was right there with it. So as soon as we so-called come out of slavery from the private ownership, which the United States gave reparations to and called it loss of property, they had the 13th Amendment on the table at the very same time. Okay? So with Juneteenth happening in June of 1865, the Congress ratified the 13th Amendment December 6, 1865. So roughly, just a little over 5 months, okay, of so-called freedom, which it wasn't, because we know right after that happened, what did they do in Natchez, Mississippi? They did the Devil's Punch Bowl, okay? Jake's supposed to be going north to work, and it was the U.S. military, the government, according to which the military, which is a faction of the U.S. government, put Jake in that pit and built a wall around him. Okay, to this day, the people will not eat the fruit. That's where the song "Strange Fruit" comes from. because they know what fertilized those trees. You know, it was the body of the Israelites, the recently freed Israelites, but they never were free. All right.
Verse 34, it says, "Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon."
Now, so essentially, he said he's going to plead our cause. He's coming back to judge. You're going to have the 2/3 that's going to be judged. That's the wicked Israelites, okay, and then you're going to have the 1/3, those who are going to be caught up in the air, okay, and that's the ones who died for the sake of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, as well as those who are left behind, as we know in First Thessalonians chapter 4 verses 16 through 18. All right. So yeah, he's gonna plead our cause, and like I said, gonna disquiet Babylon. Essentially, he's gonna fuck Babylon up, and Edom, who is the king of Babylon right now. Okay, beginning with the chief people, Amalek, who are your so-called small hatters, your big noses, the ones who own everything, the ones who got offended by that documentary from Hebrews to Negroes, even though it was going off on some stuff, it exposed them, and the chief piece in there. I did a video on this earlier with that Harry Wallace Rosenthal, who really exposed their plan that they said that they weren't doing, and it's the truth. Everything he said is coming true right now. All right, and for some reason he was dead within 30 days after he made that interview. All right.
Precept.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power."
Go ahead.
So also the reason why we still in captivity to this day is, first and foremost, the main sin, we committed against Yahweh Bashem Yashai. All right, it was a sin of idol worship or spiritual adultery. Of freaking off with these other gods. All right, but ultimately our wickedness as a whole has put us in the position that we're in right now. All right, ultimately, like it says, where thou hast scattered us, because when you go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 64, the 64th verse, I believe it is.
Yep.
What us being scattered was part of the curses. All right, us being scattered across the four winds of the earth to all these various different lands outside of Israel.
God.
All right. It says, and to be subject to payments, because we got taxes, bills, so on and so forth.
Driver's license, all these things you got to pay for. A passport. You're not free to do anything. Marriage license. Go ahead.
The government being involved in everything. The fact that we're still working, under people, mainly our enemy, our main enemy, Esau, even so-called white man. The fact that we're still in servitude under them, working for them in these job forces, that's fine proof that we still in captivity to this day. So Jake that think they free, they got liberty, this, that, and the third, they're under strong delusion.
And that goes back into the curses too, where it said we will always be the tail and not the head. They will lend to us, or we will not lend to them. Just roughly paraphrasing. So we're gonna always have to depend on them for our wants and our needs. We sacrifice to their gods, and now we're having to deal with those issues. Go ahead.
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 10. It says, "His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods." Right. Ultimately, this is going to Esau, Edom. Their poor attempts to try to please the nation of Israel. In these times, which come in the forms of reparations. Right, and the main thing we're talking about is what Juneteenth. Right, they making Jake think that they actually got something in this society. Meanwhile, while you celebrating Juneteenth, popping fireworks and firecrackers, they passing more legislation to keep you in a deep hole, to keep you down low.
Yep.
Right, and it says, "And his hands shall restore their goods." Right, because ultimately, at the end of the day, these reparations that they try to give us on this side, it ain't enough, man.
No.
In the kingdom, they're gonna give us everything, man.
No.
Everything we want, and then some.
No. And here again, like the scriptures say. Let me get that. This is their reparations. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 10. And it reads, He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. So, who led us into captivity? Who have we been under captivity under for the longest? Esau, Edom, going all the way back to the Greek and Roman empires. Okay? But even before that, you were killing our old and young when we fled out of Egypt. Okay? You wouldn't let us pass by when we were trying to get to our land, the whole nation of Edom. All right? In the Babylonian captivity, you helped burn down our stuff, our temple, take our vessels. You had a huge hand in a lot of that stuff. Everywhere, we were in trouble, you helped. You helped further the affliction. And then when you got in control of it, it's been nonstop. That's that perpetual hatred that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is talking about in Amos 1:11. All right? When it goes back and says, He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So you have to get what's coming to you. That's the only reparations, And that sword is, well, for one, when those chariots come back, those concentrated laser beams. All right? And then when we come back down from heaven with those new bodies, the Lord says He's gonna, exact His vengeance by the hand of His people, Judah, okay, and Israel. All right. And then when that's all done, you serve your, 1,000+ years of slavery, okay, twice as long and twice as hard, according to Revelations 18:5 and 6. Then you're gonna be all rounded up and destroyed forever, according to Obadiah 1 and 18. Okay. But yet that's the chief nation that's going to get it. Every nation that put their hand on us is going to be of servitude and going to be dealing with slavery. But you were the worst, You were the worst, Esau, Edom. Especially you, Amalek. Now the truth is coming out, that you both financed the transatlantic slave trade and you owned the ships, okay? And you had slaves here on American soil, all right? But that's okay. We're patient. We know vengeance is the Lord's. All right. Got anything else? Mm-hmm. All right. We just want to, end this real quick. Didn't want to be too long. Stop celebrating these wicked holidays, Jake. It's only pissing the Lord off more. And, the signs and the tokens are here that the end is near. Our salvation is closer than what we believe. Everything is happening right now. Every major prophecy is on the table. World War III, the MOTB, the one for the hand and the head. All right. You got the Euphrates already dried up, getting ready for war. All right. And here again, we just, like I said, it's another video, but a whole bunch of military mobilization in the United States. All right. Which, we believe that's going to be the beginning of Jacob's trouble. All right. A lot of stuff's about to happen. All right. So with that, we hope this letter was edifying for the body. Once again, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be likened to the speckled bird. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Abba Ball.
Abba Ball.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.